Hi there, it's Wendy and
Dave!
on Be, Do, Learn, Have, Live, and we are finally coming up to date on our history. So we're going to talk about a course that we have just finished this weekend, which is Raymond Aarons' Communication and Speaker Workshop, which was in Toronto. And it was a really, really good weekend. It's about 100 people in this event, and you learn how to communicate. And once you learn how to communicate, it's learning how to speak on stage and all the tips and tricks that you learn when you're either selling from stage or any other information you want to give out from stage. And the key thing that I got from this weekend was communication is income. So if you can communicate with somebody, you're going to get income. So this is something we're going to pass on to our team because they are plumbers. If they don't communicate with their customers properly, they're not going to get the job or the ticket that they're looking for. So that's a real key learning for me, for sure. What about you?
That is key. I certainly picked that one up, and again, for me, it is this whole aspect of communication equals selling equals income. One of the things I keep telling my team is that we're not into going in and twisting people's arms and forcing them to buy. That's not the intent at all. But the aspect of communication is that if you can't speak to people properly, if you can't educate them, if you can't provide the right options or know who or how best to speak to someone, then you are very much limiting your ability to get the jobs that you know people need to do. So in our line of work, it could be lifting a toilet, but if you can't explain to someone properly that there's some really bad stuff going on underneath their toilet and that their floor is going to rot out and then their toilet's going to fall through their floor and kill someone below or something crazy like that. I mean, that's an extreme case, but trust me, I've seen some places that are close to that. If you can't explain that properly to a customer, they'll be like, no, just fix this basic thing that I can see that I know about.
Yeah.
In which case then you're doing them a disservice and you're not making as much money. Okay, well that's fine, but it's like they've got a real problem here, so you need to let people know, and that's kind of the point of how we train our team. So coming back from this particular course, we do have to go through our notes once more and say, okay, what do we want to get across? But this whole aspect of communicating, watching the ums, ahs, the you knows. Yes. I mean, we do it a few times and now we're catching ourselves when we're doing it.
We're holding each other accountable for our ums and ahs and you knows.
But even the use of language, the words, how you speak, how you look at people, how you present yourself, how you stand there, whatever. I mean, a lot of my team already know this because we've given them some basic stuff, but there was a lot of real deep insights in this course over the week, and it was actually really useful. And Raymond himself is actually a very good teacher. He's strict in some ways and yet has heart in others and really wants to help. But he'll get you up and you'll say something and you'll totally screw it up from the standpoint of going, like, and he will just rip you to shreds in a very nice way. But it helps you, the person who's standing up learning. It helps me, the person that, when I'm standing up, to sit in. But everybody else in the whole audience is then getting the message too, going, okay, now I'm registering up here. And so it's very critical about that. You know, all the words you do use, there's a lot of words that you say that you don't need to say. There's all these other terms that he's got. So it's a great course to do. It was 3 days.
We'd like to get our kids signed up for it because honestly, if communication is income, and our kids are both looking at the entrepreneurial route, one's on that route at the moment and the other one's just going into grade 12. But I think it's going to be an absolutely great tool in their toolbox for them to move forward in life as well. So that's MMI and Raymond Aarons Communication Workshop so far is what we've mentally signed them up for. And actually, sorry, but on the way down to Toronto, Dave and I were listening to the audiobook of The Monk That Sold His Ferrari.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And it was an awesome, absolutely amazing book. It was just everything that we have learned. Not everything, but most of the stuff that we've learned that we know that means what it means for our mindset and our personal development journey is all in this one book. And it was so good. Even after a long weekend of listening to somebody talk and other people talking, we listened to an audiobook on the way home too at 8 o'clock in the evening, and we listened to the same one again because we just wanted to get the message right. And I went to go out and buy it yesterday. because it's such a good book, and I want the kids to read that too. So it's great. So I totally recommend that book. It's just mind-blowing. It really, really is. So.
It was a very good book.
Yeah.
To quote one of the sayings that's in there, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's a message that came up in the book, and we're both like, oh, we've heard that one before. So it is a really great book in the fact that, as Wendy says, it does highlight and combines a whole lot of the information that we have learned over the last, couple of years, several years for me, for Wendy, a year and a half or whatever. She's also seen me grow and change throughout these various bits and pieces. But the book is not a big book. It covers the information very well, very concisely. It's not a hard one. So it's actually a great book for anybody just to pick up and read. But it does require reading a few times, certainly if you've never got into any of this other reading before. For us, it was just mind-blowing hearing all this stuff put in such a succinct way.
Yeah.
And a very good story is how it flows through, which probably makes it a whole lot much better and easier to understand. But anyway, on that. With that, for Raymond Aarons, we've talked about his speaker course. Let me start that again. The way we actually got into this course was from doing another Raymond Aarons course at the beginning of June or early in June. It was before GMP, or was it just after?
I've forgotten.
Before GMP, because GMP was right at the end of June. So prior to this point, I was thinking, great, July is going to be free for us. We can actually go back to work and work on the business. And at this point, July seems to have been one of our busiest months because we've had everything kind of come in close. Back at the beginning of June, I was on the 10-10-10 program doing that aspect where he offers, as well as doing his online course for writing the book, you can actually go to a 3-day write a book workshop in which some people have in fact written their entire book on the 3 days and over the course of the evenings there. As we were staying with friends, I'll use excuses, and I was with Wendy, I was having a little bit more fun and didn't quite get into writing potentially my second book, or my third book I guess would be now, which we are working on, or I am working on, called The Enlightened Plumber. So that's something else that's going on. But at his event there, he also happened to mention the speakers and communication speaking workshop, as well as he mentioned a few other things called his postulate retreat, which is in 2019, as well as another course called Mulberry Hill Gang, which I'm actually going to be going to next week.
This week.
This week. Oh boy, yes, time's going by real quick. We're heading back down to Toronto tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we will both be down there, although I am going on the course. Wendy's going to be taking a few days to reflect and actually work on a few of these videos to put them together in a format and get them on our channel for you to enjoy.
All right, so in conclusion, we're finally at the end of so far. In conclusion,
the story so far.
This is where we're at right now. We've had an amazing journey of growing, pushing comfort zones, meeting completely new different people. We've got a whole new set of friends now. We've probably dropped a lot of our old friends or acquaintances anyway. Not dropped, but we just haven't spoken to anybody. And
they haven't spoken to us or even reached out to us.
And that's something too, is that, as we have talked about a lot, is if people take themselves out of your life, if they don't, like as I said on my other video about the Facebook people who weren't just not following my videos anymore, is they're not interested, so they check out. And that's a good thing, because you need to focus on the people who are on the same level as you. We've found out that we really don't think like anybody, the 95% of the rest of the population now, because we do think in a different way. And I'm so glad that we decided to do this. I'm glad for my hubby for actually getting us on this journey. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
thank you for watching these, because if you're watching it, it means that you are part of the very small percentage of people in the world who are actually taking an interest in themselves.
That's right. Because there's more to life than just trudging around at work, coming home, watching TV, and going to bed. And we realized that finally, and we're woke. So we're really looking forward to the next
forever
50 years, 30 years, 40 years, something like that. So yeah, new friends, new methods of passive income are gradually going to start coming along. We've got 1 or 2-ish type in the fire right now. We are putting more mental effort into the business when we're actually at the business, but these trips tend to pull us out a little bit. But luckily our business can keep ticking along, and moving forward. We've got some great coaches as well that keeps us focused on getting the business built better. And also bearing in mind that all these courses that we have signed up for, there's always homework. So we were having evenings of, okay, now we've got to do Bob homework and we've got to do this homework. Okay, tonight we've got to watch this webinar and this webinar. So there's always something going on. There's always something to keep thinking about, and we're always reading. I mean, we're trying to read a book a week. It's not that easy, and I would say I'm looking at once every 2 weeks. You're probably once every 2 weeks, but I'm probably more once every 3 weeks. So we need to be more disciplined in our book reading and really set some time aside for it. Things get in the way, obviously, but it's so important to read the books because that's what increases your knowledge. And I'm so grateful for when we signed up for Mary Morris's course last June. We got a huge library of books, and they're awesome. Such a great selection of books. That's probably, the course was really just worth that, to be honest with you.
Yep, and we still haven't got through a bunch of those. So I think Wendy's got through a few more of those particular books than I have.
Just amazing. So
now the other thing here is that noticing there on our TV habits, TV has pretty much dropped right off the face of the earth. There's been a few instances where something's caught our eye and then you go through a week of watching TV.
Well, we don't have TV, we haven't got cable or anything like that. We just have
Netflix.
Or we have YouTube videos on, but we very rarely put anything on. Sometimes we're just thinking, you know what, I just want to watch some crap. We'll just put something on, but very rarely now.
I would say at most, probably at a real stretch for me, it'd be something like maybe 10 hours a month of TV, if that. I think I'm probably more like 5.
Yeah.
And I'm only just thinking more recently there's been a TV program that's kind of been watched a little bit, but I mean 5 hours, that would be, that could potentially have been a night, now it's a month. So TV's kind of dropped off because we have to get these other videos, webinars and all that kind of stuff in.
And the interesting thing is as well, when I go to the gym, and what drives me nuts and what drives me crazy is all of the cardio machines are facing the TV. You go to the gym to work on your physical body to make it the best it can be, but at the same time you're staring at all these screens with presidents and nonsense news and bloody adverts which are garbage, and you're not improving your mind at all. You're just staring at rubbish. So how can you balance the two together? So I try and not to look at them. I get my motivational video on my phone and I just watch that, but it's hard not to keep looking up all the time. So I guess put a complaint into my local gym and see if they can move things around. But it's just garbage. There's nothing on TV that's useful at all. So, and especially the news.
As this is rolling on, getting on for the time there, I will close this one up by just giving a bit of a financial update. The last Money Talk was a couple of videos ago, and that was from the period of December of 2017. Right now we're at June 2018. I would say our total spend on ourselves is probably up near the 150 to 160,000 mark Canadian. With what we've invested in the oils thing, we're now probably getting close to the 200,000 mark on that, but we've invested ourselves and our kids into that, which is going to reap us many, many rewards for years to come. Our personal pay has gone up a little bit. We're not quite double yet. The business is running okay. It would be nice if it was doing a little bit more, which does require our time there. So now we're trying to watch as to how many courses we're going on to what we can do, but it's really awesome to know that I have actually got a great team set up at work that is able to run without me being there, and I don't really get too many calls and things to hassle me with various things. They generally handle it within themselves, which is awesome. So that's a great thing to do too. So part of going through all this course is all about the leadership, the imparting, the delegating, you name it, all these little things that go on. You may not see the impact from day one, but it does make a difference. And I think with that, we'll let you...
And stay tuned, because we'll be adding videos gradually as we go through our lives.
That's basically right. As far as we're concerned, this is still early stages for us, and we're still not out of the woods. We've still got a whole whack of line of equity that's been eaten away and no more savings and all that fun stuff. So with that, we'll keep you informed on our journey. Stay tuned.
Bye.